Hey guys, how you doing? This is Kaylana, the Blessed Driver here. So, okay, all right. So I wanted to talk with you guys about Doordash because I know that you guys have probably seen earlier in the year that I was official with Doordash, and that was several months ago. And so, you know, I had never did any dashes with them because I was so nervous about doing it because, you know, I had heard so many stories about Doordash and how they can deactivate you and just all kinds of stuff. So I kind of like laid low from doing it. But my first dash was yesterday, which was what, August 31st. And so I first dashed yesterday, and it was very nice. And I was surprised because I was very busy. I'm not sure if it was because, you know, it was a Friday. I'm not really sure. But despite of all that, I am kind of, you know, grateful because I worked, I think, a total of like maybe 3 or 4 hours of that. I want to say 4 hours at the most, and I made about 50 or 60 bucks, about $60 yesterday, I think, or somewhere close to that. And then I dashed like once today. And so, you know, at first I thought maybe like the app was kind of confusing because with Doordash you have to get used to how to use the app because there's so many functionalities to it, different buttons, different things that you can do with it. And so you have to kind of know what everything is basically. And so I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I had heard mixed reviews about Doordash, but a lot of drivers that I have seen and heard and talked to are kind of pleased with Doordash, and they said that they make really good money from it. And especially with where I am here in Orlando, it's not too bad. And so I'm not saying like I will do it full time, but I'll just probably do it part time, just do it here and there, like whenever I'm able to, you know, squeeze in some time. But to my surprise, you know, it wasn't too bad. Now keep in mind that this is was it Labor Day weekend, and so I actually had like 6 hours scheduled with Instacart, but I canceled them. I don't know why I did that because I totally forgot that this was like a Labor Day weekend, and I probably would have been busier if not made more money. But anyway, with that being said, Doordash is not too bad. And so on my first day, it was kind of interesting because my very first order was to a restaurant not too far from where I live, and it was a Chinese restaurant. And when I got there, now I've never been there, I've never eaten there, nothing like that. Okay, now when I got to the restaurant, what kind of turned me off was the fact that there's two women. There's one that was cooking, there's one in the back. And please forgive me that I'm driving, but I have to share this with you guys. And this one lady, I guess she was the owner, I don't know what she was, but she saw me come in, and she didn't greet me. She didn't do none of that stuff. And she turned back around, and she started talking to the lady behind her. They're just laughing and giggling, and so I just stood at the counter for a while. And I just looked at them like, okay, you know, they're not noticing me, they're ignoring me. And so, there was a gentleman that worked there, but he wasn't Asian. I think he was just like a normal white guy, but he was kind of young, right? And so he kind of noticed, I guess, the fact that I wasn't being tended to. So he was like, "Oh, hey, are you here to pick up an order?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up a Doordash order." He goes, "Okay." And so he went back and he told the ladies I was there to pick up a Doordash order, and they completely ignored him. And he said it again, and then she said something, but it sounded like she had like an attitude when she said it. And so I'm like, okay. So, and I could tell by the look on his face, like he looked like he felt bad. Because I could tell, you know, he wanted to do something, like at least to help, but the women were just being really petty. So I just pretend like I didn't see anything. I ignored it, because this was my very first dash. So I went and I sat down and waited for the order to get done. And then I noticed a gentleman, a Caucasian gentleman, he walks inside. And as soon as he walks inside the door, "Hi, how are you doing?" "Oh, hi, how are you?" And so they greeted him immediately. So I'm like, okay. And so by this point, after he had ordered, he waited for a while. Then finally I heard the woman say, "Doordash." And so I looked at her and she said, "Doordash" again. And so I got up and she just kind of just threw the bag on the counter and walked off. I was like, all right, all right, cool. So, but I could see that, like the guy, like the younger guy, he was just looking at me like, man, that's kind of messed up, you know? And so I took the food, I said, thank you, and I kindly walked out. And as I was walking out, I seen another gentleman, Caucasian gentleman, getting ready to walk in, and immediately she greeted him. I was like, wow, okay, I see what this is all about. So I had to, because after I guess I picked up the order, I had to, you know, rate the pickup, and I rated it. I surely did rate it. You know, and so that was it. And so I was like, okay, I hope this isn't how it is with some of these restaurants, because you got some people that are they're such bigots, you know, but whatever. So I didn't let that really bother me too much, because I'm kind of used to it. And so but that wasn't too bad. But today, just about 35 minutes ago, I was actually doing a Grubhub order. I went to a Red Lobster to go pick up an order for a customer. Now this just happened, guys. Now, I had just got done with the Doordash order, and I was kind of switching between apps, and so I had paused the door. Actually, the Doordash order was done. Doing the Grubhub order, get to the restaurant, and as soon as I pull up to the to-go section, another car pulls up next to me, right? And so as I get out the car, I have, you know, my stuff ready to pick up the order. It was a young boy that had got out the car. He couldn't have been no more than maybe 7, 8 at the most. I would say at least between 7 and maybe 8. And so there was a younger woman in the car, you know, that was in the driver's seat, and they were talking about something. And he said something to me, but he was like, he had such a thick Spanish accent, I couldn't understand like what he was saying. And so I go into the restaurant, and long story short, the gentleman tells me, oh, you're here to pick up an order? I was like, yes. And so he goes, okay, it's at the bar. I was like, okay, thank you. And so, but before he says that, the young boy has a credit card in his hand, and that's when I knew immediately he was picking up a Doordash order. I'm thinking, I know she's not doing this. And so he said something like, you're picking up an order. It was something like that. He was saying, like, you know, you're picking up an order. And I didn't say anything to him because I just didn't want to say anything to him, you know. And it wasn't because I was trying to be mean or anything. I was feeling a certain type of way. And so once I get to the bar, the gentleman behind the bar was like, oh, you picking up an order? And I told him who it was for and what, you know, Grubhub or whatever. He goes, okay, sure. And so he goes in the back to get the order. The little boy comes and he sits down at the bar with the Doordash credit card in his hand, and he was picking up an order for his mom. Now, at first, I was gonna get mad and say something, but then I'm thinking, well, first of all, it's none of my business. Second of all, you know, maybe she was sick or maybe she was handicapped, and so. But regardless of all of that, if you're a Doordash driver and you signed up to drive and to pick up delivery and stuff, that is your job. That is what you're supposed to do, right? So I'm thinking, this boy is little. And so he was sitting at the bar with the little credit card and stuff, and, you know, playing his games on the phone, and I looked and I kind of glanced over just a quick second just to make sure. Yeah, because I seen the little Doordash credit card, and he went back onto the screen to pick up the order. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Who sends a little child, a little thing to go pick up an order? I mean, I could see if maybe the person wasn't feeling well, maybe they got injured before that and they really couldn't get out the car or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But despite all that was a little child. And I could say maybe, you know, the child was maybe like 17 or some 18 or whatever. Then that would have been all right. This is a little thing. And so I was like, how old is this boy? I'm thinking he could have been no more than maybe 7 or 8. And so this lady sends her child, it's a Doordash driver, sends her child to go pick up an order that was so tiny. Anything could have happened to this kid. I mean, I understand we're in a restaurant full of people, but still, you feel what I'm saying? You know, and I'm like, so I'm thinking in my mind, okay, you know, I still don't want to jump to conclusions. So the guy brings out my order, I get to my car, and once I get to my car, I kind of like glance over to my left just to peep, to see maybe there's like a handicap tag, a handicap sticker, something. Maybe she was something, I don't know, she's trying to find a reason why she did that. There's none. She was just sitting in her car, waiting for her child to come back to bring the food. And I'm sure that there's a bunch of different reasons as to why she probably could have done that. But the fact that this was a small child, and you're gonna send your child to go inside a restaurant by himself to pick up an order for you, I was heated. And so I wanted to say something to her, but I was like, you know what, Lord, I got my food, put it inside my car, and I just drove off. And so I'm thinking to myself, I understand, you know, things can happen to where a food delivery driver might not be able to go and pick up an order. I understand that, where maybe you have somebody with you, but my thing is the child was so small and he went in there by himself to pick up food. Like, what if he could have got injured? Maybe if he slipped and fell, somebody could have maybe kind of coerced him to go into the bathroom or something, you know what I'm saying? It was just like ridiculous. And I was kind of concerned about that a little bit, you know, but I understand for me, you know, being where I am, you know, I'm doing my thing and she's probably doing her thing. But, you know, I'm thinking, okay, maybe, you know, sometimes things happen, especially being a woman. It could be that time of the month and maybe she had an accident or something and she couldn't get out to see. I don't know. It could have been anything. But despite all that, you know, you don't send a little child that young inside of a restaurant that you're supposed to be going into, picking up an order by himself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a sweet little boy, you know, very nice little boy, but still, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, and then using the credit card, you know, at the same time. And I'm sure that the guy at the bar probably wasn't thinking that much about it. I don't know. I didn't stay long enough to see all that, but I was just like, man, you know. And I have been in situations like that before. Like, I had ordered from Doordash once before. Actually, it was my second order. I think it was my first or second order. I had ordered from Doordash, and this was like some months ago. And once the dasher got to my apartment, she comes up, and there was another girl with her, and it looked like it was probably her daughter. And her daughter looked like she couldn't have been no more than maybe 15, maybe between 14, 15 maybe. And I understand that some people that do food delivery, they're concerned about their safety. My thing is, if you're that scared to deliver food, you shouldn't be doing it, straight up. I mean, I understand like how some, I get it. I understand. I'm not saying it's right, but I understand if you have people with you, do what you do. I mean, that's not a problem if you got somebody with you. But it's different if they come with you while you're delivering the food and they're like looking like all in your house. That's exactly what she did. So her daughter, so the woman comes up and like I meet her halfway through the stairs because she was looking all scared. And I don't live in a bad neighborhood. I live in a very nice neighborhood. And so her daughter comes up past her mom, looking all in my apartment. I'm looking at her like, what is she doing? I'm thinking like, all I want is my food. You know, like, why is her child looking into my apartment? Like, I don't have any weapons, you know, that she can visibly see. You know, like, I don't have anything. Like, I'm just there to pick up my food, you know? And so, like, I couldn't believe it. So I was like, all right, thank you. And so, like, I didn't tell on her. Like, I didn't rat her out, nothing like that. But I was just like, this is crazy, you know? And so, like, stuff like that bothers me. It's like when people bring their kids along with them when they're doing these gigs, and it kind of gets into the way of what they're really supposed to be doing. You feel what I'm saying? And especially, like, you know, you bring a child, and the child is, like, looking like all in your house, being nosy. It got nothing to do with them. Or they bring a child to do their job for them, especially if the child is little. That just, I'm sorry. But anyway, y'all, that's my whole Doordash story. But so far, so good. I kind of like it. I know that there might be times where it might not be that busy, so you kind of have to wait around. I'm not waiting around, and so like that's why I have like different apps going. But I kind of like it. It's not too bad, and you can make some really good money from it. I mean, the orders are pretty decent size, so definitely way more than Uber Eats, of course, way more, because Uber Eats have changed a lot. So if any of you guys, you know, if any of you guys are wondering about Doordash, it's not too bad. I kind of like it. You know, just like any of the app-based gigs, there's times where it may be busy, there's times where it, you know, it may be slow. Sorry. But you know, I don't have any major concerns about it. You know, everybody has their own opinion and, you know, how they feel about Doordash. You know, sometimes you might be waiting, sometimes you might not, but I don't know, maybe because it was the weekends, maybe that's why I'm busy, I don't know. But I had to give it a shot because I had picked up some shifts for this week, especially, you know, with it being, I think it's Labor Day on Monday and stuff like that. So, yeah, Doordash isn't too bad. You know, I would say so far so good. I give it a thumbs up. You know, you can definitely make some good money from it, especially if you're going to be busy. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. And so, if you guys are interested, you're really welcome to go ahead and go online and apply. I will probably leave a link below. But either way, give it a shot. See how you like it. God bless.